This wonderful and glorious world of plurality had been at all times a mystery, a temptation, a conundrum. From the caveman to the modern scientist sitting in among electronic equipments in the modern laboratories. Where did it all come from? What is the source of this universe? What is it all about that is happening all around me? This kind of a question have been from the time immemorial in the beginning of the universe, from your Adam and Eve onwards, till today we are still investigating and inquiring. Sometimes our inquiry went into mysticism and religion, sometimes to superstition, sometimes to facts, but nowhere there is total satisfaction because man wants to understand the world. This problem is not among the animals. Therefore, philosophy or religion has never troubled the animal kingdom. It's only when you become the intelligent human being that he starts this investigation, this inquiry, this curiosity to understand the world outside, and 100 questions rise in the bosom of every individual, whether you are religious or not, whether you are scientific or not, you are an intelligent human being, the questions cannot be avoided. It is this questioning, ability in the human intellect that has brought about all the so-called progress in the material world outside. From the caveman to the modern man, the progress that we have made are all contribution of this human intellect's investigative anxiety to know, understand the world outside. All the objective scientists of modern times are glorious people, but limited in their approach to this problem. None of them are able to really find out what is the fundamental. It's not their fault. They were trying to understand it with their intellect, because that is the only toy that has been provided by nature to the human beings. And we were fascinated by that toy, and just as a child, when he gets a teddy bear first, he can't even sleep without the teddy bear. For a few days, nothing but the teddy bear day and night. So too, we were so fascinated by the achievements and the abilities and capacities of the human intellect that we reveled all through the times till today. Intellectual investigation, observing the factors, codifying the observations, systematizing those observations, and this is called a science, systematized knowledge. Millenniums are passed playing with the intellect. Now and then we find a spark of a unique mode of knowing through intuition, whom we call as the saints and the sages and the prophets. But they are all rejected because man finds that the science is more useful than philosophy. Thus jogged on, we came up to this point. In fact, pictorially, if you think about it, I conceive that an old man and an old lady were coming hand in hand, married for millions of years, state and religion, philosophy. They were coming along, and at somewhere in the late 18th century or the early 19th century, a buxom young girl, jumping and tripping from the side of the mountain, ran into the road, and the old man, the state, got fascinated by her vigor, and he stopped wondering. And she held him by the hand, and together they started going about. Remember, the man is old. The young girl is full of energy and vitality. Skipping and dancing, she is running forward. And the poor old man pantingly trying to maintain her, the hold upon her. Thus, science and state started moving. Unfortunately, that old lady, religion, philosophy, got angry with the old man, and she stopped at that point and never followed them. Now the state, the governments of the world, the modern man is confused and confounded, exhausted and fatigued, and the science is still dragging him forward, and he is regretfully looking backward. Where is that old lady who knew all that I want and who can only serve me properly? I am exhausted, I am tired, and looking back. You can't even see her because she has become a speck in the distance because she never followed it. Religion stopped there where science started. It did not come to upgrade itself to the modern demands of the modern man. This is the situation in the world. Then the question comes, why religion? Why philosophy? The animals have not got it, and they are living comfortably and dying away, and they live their life cycle very peacefully. Why man should have religion or philosophy? I ask you, friends, why man has got science, politics, economics? Why art, literature? Why? Why? Animals have not got science. Why do you have a science? Animals have no politics, no economics, and yet they survive. Why are you doing it? When that question comes up, we will have to say that man is intelligent, and therefore he developed all these sciences. Human intellect asks questions. Animals don't ask questions. To the animal, the world is only its utility value. A grazing animal smells a thing, and if it is eatable, it eats, or else it leaves it and goes away. Utility value is the only value that the animal can understand. Human beings are not so. They start questioning. What is it? How is it? When is it? Where is it? How did it come? Where did it come from? 100 questions asked. Why? The animals have not got this rational intellect to ask questions. Man has this intelligence, and therefore he cannot stop from asking. When that apple fell on the nose of Newton, he picked it up and started wondering. Animal cannot know, there is no wondering. There is no wonder in them. If anything falls on them, they smell it, and if it is eatable, they eat, or else they just walk away. It's only utility value. Newton started looking at it and wondering. Let us suppose, dramatize it. Some of his friends came and said, "Hi, you are sleeping here outside? What is it that in your hand?" He said, "It's an apple." "Then what are you looking at it? If it is good, polish it and eat it. If it is bad, throw it away." Newton says, "Yes, I can do that, but I want to know." "What do you want to know about an apple?" "Know why it came down." Is it not, my friends? Such a question an animal will not ask. Or animal like human beings also will not ask the question. Because to them also, majority of mankind, the world is only for its utility. If it has no use, he has no concern about it. A scientific mind, a well-developed intellect, rational intelligence wants to know it. The crowd that is around, or the friends that are around Newton, must have laughed at him. "What are you talking? Why do you want to know why it came down? It has been coming down from time immemorial. And your great-grandfather never asked the question, grandfather never asked the question, your father never asked the question. We decent people are not asking that question. Why is it that you are asking?" Maybe you have got something wrong with you. Newton accepts this. "I think something is wrong, but I want to know." Recently his biography has come out, and it appears that 22 years he struggled before he discovered that everything is attracted towards the center of the earth, the gravitational force. In the same way, all the various branches of science developed. Inquisitiveness, a sense of wonderment. But in all of them, the scientist was fascinated by a limited area. The sun and the moon and the stars, astronomy and astrology developed. Another one is fascinated by the plant kingdom, botany started. Another one was fascinated by the living beings, the zoology developed. Others wanted to know what is in the earth, geology developed. Others wanted to know what is in the ocean, oceanology developed. Thus various sciences developed. The art of governing the world, politics developed. How to develop the wealth of the nation and how to increase it and how to distribute it with equity, economics developed. Everywhere, the human intellect wanting to know, want to investigate and understand. It is this urge in the man that developed all the various sciences. Now then, friends, when a science is thus developing, or you try to understand things intellectually, when you really go into the depths of it, all scientific researches all over the world till this day, the inquiry is, what is the cause of an effect observed? Cancer research is a painful disease and death, and we have no defense, and therefore they are doing research everywhere around the world. Whether you can afford it or not, developed nations, underdeveloped nations, developing nations, all of them are trying to do research. What is the research? Take away all the technological names. What is left over is only, we are trying to find out what is the cause for cancer. Causation hunting is the only preoccupation of the human intellect. Rational intellect investigates into things, searching for the cause of things. In the 19th century, the great killer was malaria. They did research, What do you mean? Research. They try to find out what causes malaria, and once they have discovered the malarial germs in the bloodstream and found the quinine is the antidote, today we claim that we have conquered malaria. One day cancer, we will understand the cause for the cancer, and once we know the cause and learn to destroy the cause, the effect is controlled. When the great rishis of the Vedic period found this cause-effect relationship, in Sanskrit is called Karya-Karana Sambandha, they found that it is universal. In the past people were using it, in the present we are using it, in the future we will be inquiring in the same cause-effect relationship. It is true of all people all over the world in all languages. Every moment we are inquiring into the cause of things, in understanding the effect. Therefore they said, it is a universal thing, let us inquire into it. When they try to understand thus the cause of this universe, what is it that ultimate reality from which the world has emerged out? They miserably failed. The great rishis, not only the public, but even the great rishis completely, miserably failed. And as scientists, remember, in science there is no failure. The failure of earlier generations becomes the stepping stone for the future generation to walk into the truth. Thus, 20th century there is a large amount of discoveries, all based upon 18th and 19th century failures. Therefore, they avoided those and thus discovered that in science there is no failure. The great rishi is recorded in the Rig Veda. They had declared that we tried our level best to understand the cause of this universe. We could not. Edo vajo nivartande aprapya manasa saha. I am quoting this not that you will understand it, but just to make you understand that I am not bluffing. It is the Vedic declaration. This great truth appears to be beyond my abilities, sense abilities to observe, or the mental abilities to conceive. It is something beyond my faculties that are available to me in my present state of evolution. Modern science would have then kept quiet, would have said that it is impossible to know. In modern science too, it is an accepted tradition or methodology that when direct method is not available, indirect methods of investigations are undertaken. Before we send the rocket to the moon, we had no knowledge of what is the climatic condition there, or no such definite information. There is no way to know it. And without knowing that data, we can't afford to put man on the moon. It is at that time we discovered, or science brought out the idea of the Sputnik. We sent out the Sputnik, collected as much data as possible, and using that data, we manufactured the dress and other things of for the safety of the traveler, and we put man on the moon. When direct method is not available, indirect methods are acceptable in scientific investigation. The great masters of the Vedic period when they found that their faculties at this moment of their evolution are not capable of investigating into the cause of this entire cosmos, they said, we will start an indirect investigation. Why is it that every human intellect in every part of the world from during all the periods of history was always asking, what is the cause of every effect? So then they started a deep and exhaustive study of cause-effect relationship. As a result of this investigation and study, they reduced their entire data into 3 laws of causation. 3 laws of causation. When I am now repeating these 3 laws of causation, you will have to remember. If you are preoccupied with something else, you better stop it and go there and finish it and come back. Without remembering the 3 causes or the 3 laws, you will not be able to follow what I am talking. I warn you. The 3 laws they deduced from their entire study, and number 1, the law, an effect can never be without a cause. The waves cannot be without the ocean. Ornaments cannot be made without gold. Pots can never be made without clay. An effect is not possible without a cause. Law number 1. Number 2, effects are, plural, nothing but the cause itself in different forms. The big wave, the medium wave, and the small wave, and the ripples, and the foam, and the lather, and the bubble are all different forms of the ocean, the cause. The jug, the cup, the saucer, the plates, the flower vase are all different shapes and different names. For what? Clay in different forms. The bangles and the rings and the chain and the earring are all different names, different shapes, different uses, but all of them are gold in different forms. So the first law, effect cannot be without a cause. Number 2, effects are cause itself in different forms. And number 3, from the effect, if the cause is removed, nothing remains. If the wave is transferred to the hills, there will be no waves. From a clay pot, all clay is removed. There is no pot. From a gold chain, the gold is removed. There is nothing there remaining. Since the effect is nothing but the cause itself in different forms, when from the effect the cause is removed, nothing remains. 3 laws. I again repeat. Effect cannot be without a cause. Effects are cause itself in different forms. From the effect, when the cause is removed, nothing remains. When they got these 3 laws they had the scientists' audacity to apply it to the world. Here is a universe that you and I are seeing and experiencing. It cannot be without a cause. Why? The first law. Effect cannot be without a cause. Must have a cause. That cause of the universe, religion calls as God, and philosophy calls it as reality or truth. Without it, this Swamiji, we have heard that there is a God and God created the world. But what our doubt in the modern time is, who is God? Where is God? What is God? Is he a man or a woman? Oh, all sorts of worries and anxieties. And why did he create? And how did he create? And when did he create? 1,000 questions. These students of the Vedic period asked all these questions to the teacher. The teacher only cried out, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace be, peace be, peace be. Why? Unless the mind is peaceful, you cannot rationally think. Excited mind has no capacity to logically think. He said, let us apply the second law. Let us apply the second law. Effects are nothing but the cause itself in different forms. Therefore, our assumption that God is above the clouds, that he, like a manufacturer, is manufacturing things and pushing it into the world, is absurd, illogical. It's a falsehood. It's a superstition. The effect cannot be separate from the cause, and therefore the Lord, the God, one without a second, when he created the world, he must have created from himself the entire universe of names and forms, the mineral world, the plant, animal and human, everything that you are seeing here are all nothing but he in different forms. Just as in a pottery shop, whatever size and shape and color the pots be, all of them are permeated by clay. In the jeweler's shop, everything there, whatever be the shape and the use, they are all nothing but gold in different forms. Similarly, whatever that you are seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, in this world of plurality, the entire objective world is nothing but that supreme cause in different forms. Carefully. Let it sink into you. This cannot be demonstrated. It is a subjective science. Think for yourself. If thus that Lord is permeating everything, just as clay pervades all pots, just as ocean pervades all waves, gold pervades all ornaments, if he, the unknown, the cause of the universe, is right here in the very world of plurality, very democratic Lord, not a tyrant who is sitting there above the clouds, manufacturing and sending us here, but he is with us. He pervades everything, including you. Maybe you are an atheist, but even an atheist who may say that I don't believe in God, he is able to express that because of the grace of God. This Lord, the God, is in everything. in a unicellular organism to the highest saint and prophet and genius in science and art and literature. Every one of us is enlivened by his presence. Swamiji, if God is thus all-pervading, everywhere, pervading everything, where is he? What is he? The rishis smile in their wisdom and congratulate you for asking this stupid question, because stupid people in their ignorance can only ask stupid questions. And he says, don't get excited, let us apply the third law. I hope you remember the third law. The first law was an effect cannot be without a cause. The second was the effects are nothing but the cause itself in different forms. The third was from the effect when the cause is removed. Apply. What is it that is pervading all of us, plant, animal and human? It can't be your physical body. What is it that is common? The plant is alive, the animal is alive, man is alive. This spark of life is common in all. Is it not? Now, that which from you when removed, you will be rubbed out of this universe. What is it? It can be the nose, it can be the hand, it can be the leg. Any part of the body may cut, still you survive. What is it that? Swami, my heart is crushed by my girlfriend, still you survive, isn't it? My ideas have been all broken down, still you survive. What is it that when it is minus from you, you as an individual entity in the world is rubbed out, is no more. It is life. Once the life is gone, dead Einstein has no more existence. This life that gives you existence, because of which you are what you are, which enlivens you every activity of yours, is it not that life? This mysterious, miraculous, mighty power in you makes you do what you are able to do, makes me function. The plant, the animal, the trees, the birds, the animals are all functioning because they are alive. The dead bird will no more chirrup. The dead dog cannot bark. The dead Swami will no more speak. Think. Then who and what is this mighty power? It is life. And this life in me is alive everywhere. The electricity in this bulb, which is now blinking into me, is the electricity around the world. There are not Chinese electricity different from Russian electricity and American electricity. No, electricity is one everywhere. It expresses through all electrical equipment. Life is one. It expresses through the plant kingdom, animal kingdom, human kingdom. Everywhere it expresses itself. With this knowledge, now look at the world through your window. Is it not the entire parade of happenings that are happening in the world, political, economic, social, scientific, are they not all play of this mighty Lord? Why shouldn't we call him the Lord of the universe? Minus him, there is no universe. Minus life, this world itself has neither progress, nor science, nor knowledge. Why? The planet itself will be called a dead planet. All that you are seeing, this is scintillating life that is seeing all around, are all his play through the various equipments, no doubt. This one mighty presence, which is expressing through all living beings, at all times, this they called as the reality, the truth. We all know that you are alive. Anybody in this place who has got a doubt whether he is living or not? Everybody knows. However congenital an idiot you may be, or a genius you may be, everybody knows I am alive. Ask him, what is life? He doesn't know. He will say only conditioned by his circumstances. Life is miserable, Swamiji, because the business have gone. Or life is wonderful, Swamiji, because you have got some money in the bank and a new wife. But you are talking of what life is given you. What is life? Nobody seems to know it. This one life which is the pervading everything, because of which everything is functioning. We know it is with us, but we don't know what it is. We want to search and discover it. Therefore, in the subjective science philosophy, they said, let us suppose this mighty presence in you called life, which is the one life everywhere, as Om. Why Om? That you can ask me. Even if I say that it is not Om, but it is Boom, you will say, ask me, Boom, why Boom? This is a name that has been taken and universally accepted. To Payar, why called Pai? It is universally accepted. Hey, can't I not change? You can change, but the same value. But others will not understand, that is all. So then words are given, a name is given. Om is that represents, a sound symbol that represents this unknown factor, but I know it is with me, but I am not able to grasp it, and therefore it is called Om. The rest I will talk in my next talk. So then, as I said, when once they understood these three laws, they applied it to the universe. There is a world of names and forms that I am seeing here in the world. There must be a cause for it. Why? The first law. An effect cannot be without a cause. I cannot be without a father. Therefore, this universe must have a father. Boom, 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 boom. Swamiji, this we have heard. From childhood onwards we have been hearing that there is a God. The God created the world and the God is the father of the world. Where is that God? Who is he? What is he? Where is he? 100 questions rise. And the student asks all these questions together in one sentence to the teacher. The teacher smiles. And the teacher says, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Why? If you get excited, you cannot think. Thinking is a process only when mind is at peace. If you want to know where that God is, the cause of the universe, let us apply the second law. The second law says, are cause itself in different form. So the cause, the creator, the Lord, is not sitting comfortably enjoying in the heavens, and he creates us like manufacturers manufacturing products and throwing it into the market. He himself has become the universe. He is the gold in the ornaments. He is the ocean in the waves. He is the clay in the pots. The Lord is the cause of the universe. When you say everything in this universe is pervaded by Him, He is in every one of you. How do you mean He is in every one of you? There is no God in me. So said the mud pot. I saw the mud pot one day in India with a walking stick going along. I said, "Hello, potty, where are you going?" The potty said, "I am going to Benares, Kashi." Why? To meditate and realize clay. The cause of all mud pots. I said, "Vaya, sit down. What are you?" "I am a pot." "But how are you a pot?" "That is because, Ramayya occupies me. I belong to Ramayya." Hey, Ramakrishna, or anybody. "I am Mr. Jones' pot. I am a yellow pot. I am a big pot. I am a small pot. I am a honey pot." My dear man, you are talking what is the contents in you. You are talking about the color around you. You are talking to me about the possessor of the pot. But what are you? I am a pot. What is a pot? A pot is a pot, a container which contains various things. See? How far is the clay from the pot? How far is the gold from the ornament? How far is the ocean from the waves? So far can only be you from the cause. Call him God or reality or truth or Father in heaven or Buddha, or call him Allah. What does it matter? The source of the whole universe is essentially present in the universe. It's not a source, a raw material there, and the God, the creator, is a manufacturer. He manufactures and sends it there. In that case, that manufacturer is an incompetent manager. Why? He already knows that the market is flooded, and why is he creating again? Huh? No intelligent producer will produce it when the market is already flooded with your products. Will he not control the production? It is not. Just as in the dream you see the world of plurality, all that plurality that you are seeing is only your own mind. Similarly, that higher state of consciousness in different form is the world of plurality. Swamiji, if thus God is in me, tell me which is God in me? Liver, pancreas, kidney, or my heart? Which is the God? Let us apply the third law. From the effect, when the cause is removed, nothing remains. From you, if something is gone, next day morning onwards, you don't exist. What is that? Oh, that must be my nose. Without a nose you can survive, and a plastic surgeon can supply you with a nose. Oh, it must be ears. Without ears you can live. Hands, legs. See? But when one's life is out of you, whoever you are, whatever the cause by which it is gone, Is it not that you are not here among us? You are wiped out? Whoever you be, rich or poor, a congenital idiot or a genius, where is Einstein now? Think? All people, one's life is gone, is wiped out. All of you are existing here now, and I am here sitting and talking to you only because life is in all of us. That one life, which is in the heart of all, is the Lord of the universe. Minus him there is no universe or world at all. No activities, nothing. That mighty reality, God, is essentially in every one of you. As the spark of life, the light of existence, the lamp of knowledge, the pure touch of consciousness. That consciousness life in you, we cannot produce it in the laboratory as a sample, as an object, in a test tube. Here is God. Now please pass it on. Everybody may see it. Oh, this is God. It cannot be shown. Each one will have to realize it because it is in your depth. It can be realized only an inside and not outside. And therefore, though we know we are alive, is there anybody here who has got a doubt whether you are alive or not? You know you are alive. What is life? That I don't know. Because we know only expressions of life. But there is life in us, we know, all of us know. No doubt about it. That life, which we know it is there, but we don't know what it is indicated in the science of philosophy by the symbol Om. In arithmetics, when you don't know a thing, you say, let us be X. In science, what you don't know, we say that let it be gamma or beta or theta. In philosophy, we say that let it be Om. So Om is that secret, sacred presence, because of which all of us are working and functioning. What it is we don't know. To discover it is called the science or technology in spirituality. How it is done, we will discuss it tomorrow. So as we said, because man is intelligent, he cannot accept something that just he sees, but he wants to know it. A mere perception of a thing is not sufficient. He inquires into it. He wants to grapple that idea with his knowledge. And therefore he starts inquiring. And all inquiries of the intellect is a chain of inquiry on cause-effect relationship. Thus the whole universe must have a cause. Applying the first law, effect cannot be without a cause. There is the effect, and we are seeing the whole universe around me. It must have a cause. What that cause is, we don't know at this moment. That cause of the universe is called God in all scriptures of the world. In philosophy, it is called reality or truth. So God or reality or truth, as expounded in all the scriptures of the world, the Father in heaven, or Sri Buddha's state of consciousness, or Allah, or Atman, the Brahman, the Self, all these are different names to one and the same state of consciousness. This is present in every one of us. We are alive at this moment. There is no living being who is not, a living human being who is not conscious that he is alive. But when you inquire what is that life, all that we can say is only the various expressions of life, but we don't know what life is. What is electricity, if I ask, and you try to explain to me that it is light in the bulb, the heat in the heater, the sound in the radio. If you say these are all manifestations, expressions of electricity, electricity is something other than all these. In the same way, life is not my movement, my physical efficiency, or my mental glory or beauty, or my intellectual accomplishment, brilliancy. These are all expressions of life. What is life? We know it is with us, but we don't know what it is. It is a theme of our investigation, our inquiry. When thus there is a factor which we know is there but we don't know at this moment, in order to help us to consistently search for it, we generally assume that let that unknown thing be X in arithmetics, gamma or beta or theta in science. By assuming that sound, it is only a representation. In itself, it is nothing. It is the unknown. Similarly, in philosophy, in the science, subjective science, they said, this spark of existence in you, this spring of consciousness in us, this touch of life in all living beings, let us call it as Om. It's a sound symbol. What is that Om is what we are searching. Now, when you don't know what you are suffering from, the doctors start observing the symptoms, symptomatic treatment, because we don't know what is the spring of that disease. In the same way, when I can't directly know this great truth, with all my faculties that are available to me at this moment, I start study of it in terms of its expressions. Life in me expresses, or life in the whole world expresses, through three equipments of life. We are deliberately using the word equipment because you are familiar with electrical equipments, contrivances through which when electricity passes, we see its manifestation, work done, and that is called equipment. There are three equipment. Equipment has no plural. So you don't say three equipments, though to make others understand I used to do it, but it is against a grammar. Just as deer has no plural, you don't say deers, but all that we say is a team of deer, a host of deer, not deer has no plural. Similarly, we have no plural for equipment. The three equipments, there is no plural. The three equipments, because if I don't use it, you feel funny. The three equipments are the body, the mind, and the intellect. Sharira, mana, buddhi are the upadhis. through which life expresses in this whole world. In the mineral world, it has got a body only, a shape, a form. In the plant kingdom, when the stone or the soil has become a little more evolved into a plant, the plant has got a form, body, and the beginnings of the mind. It is able to respond to sunlight and water vapor. Nothing more. And latest now, discovery is that they respond to a certain kind of music, stringed instrument. I have no objection. Let them. See? The beginnings of the mind. When that plant kingdom evolves to be an animal, it has got a form body and a fully developed mind. Fully developed mind. And the animals function as ordered by the instincts and the impulses of the mind. It is only in human beings we have got not only the body, not only a form and shape, but a fully developed mind of the animal, plus a subtle instrument of discriminative thinking capacity to rationalize and think properly, creatively. This ability is called the intellect. We have, all of us have got all the animal instincts and impulses. You jump into a conclusion and act on it. Every one of us do. When he said that, I got so angry, I don't remember anything. And such an individual behaves like any other animal, barking and biting and fighting. See? But an intelligent man, even though he also has got all the animal instincts and impulses, he starts criticizing, critically viewing his own impulses rising, and he starts judging it. Is it right? Is it wrong? Will it bring happiness to me? Will it bring unhappiness to others? And when I find that a certain instinct and impulse that comes to me is creating sorrow to others, I give it a deflection, I give it a new direction and make it more creative. This ability the animal has not got it. Only human beings have got it. So to act permissive, whatever I felt, I did it. That is not freedom, that is licentiousness. Freedom is the freedom in me to say no to myself of things that I understand to be wrong. This ability of discriminative thinking that you have got, and that is why man is progressive. Animals are still in that very same state. At the time of Adam and Eve, if the bees have built the beehive, so beautifully made, even an ordinary architect cannot create such beautiful structured cell as the beehive. And yet, even today, the same blueprint. They have not changed it. They have not put a drawing room in front, a cantilever, a porch in front, so that during rainy season they can come under the porch, dry up and then go in. They have never thought of it. A cantilever, they needed. Whatever that was there at that time, nature had made them do it. Even today, under the impulse of nature, no freedom at all, they go on doing it. Even their sex life is ordered by nature. A certain season where the birds and the animals feel the sex urge. Freedom is not for them. But with the intellect developed, the sophisticated creature called man, he has got all the freedom. He can use his own discrimination to do or to commit or to omit. He has got the freedom to do or not to do, or do it otherwise. All these abilities are in you, and therefore the progress, the material scientific progress. So the body with the sense organs, the mind with its emotions, instincts and impulses, and the intellect with its rational thinking capacity. Now, the body, the mind, the intellect are made up of matter. Calcium, carbon, phosphorus. Grosser matter, the gross body. Subtler matter is the mind and intellect. Matter is, whether gross or subtle, is inert and insentient. You and I are dynamic and conscious. Where does it get it? The parts of a car are all inert matter, and it moves. What makes the car move? What makes the bulb glow? There must be something other than the bulb expressing through the bulb. In the same way, what is it that is enlivening me? And a time comes when I have no capacities. My efficiency gone, my beauty of emotions gone, my brilliancy of intellect gone. Even Einstein stops all thinking. The body is there lying down, but he has no faculties, abilities, capacities. Why? Life is no more expressing through it. Carefully. Thus, my friends, there must be something other than matter, the BMI, to enliven the BMI. That is why in your Bible said, God is in the heart of all, enlivening everything. Vitalizing everything, lending their faculties to them by His grace. Just as the bulb has got light with the grace of electricity, the heater has got heat by the grace of electricity. You and I are today functioning as we are due to the grace of something other than matter. Since it is something other than matter, it is called the spirit. In the spiritual center or the spark of existence or consciousness, which is one in everyone, just as electricity is one, the bulbs are different, the radios are different, the computers are different, equipments are different, but the electricity is one. Cars are different, Japanese cars or American cars or European cars. But petrol, the gas is one and the same. Life is one, plant, animal and human. Enlivens everyone according to the equipments available. And that one reality is indicated by the sound symbol Om. So the consciousness or Om, when expressing through the sense organs, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin of your body, there crystallizes a sense of conscious individuality. I, the perceiver, perceiving with the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, what? The sense objects. I am seeing, I am hearing, I am smelling, I am tasting. How do you see? Swamiji, so simple. With the eyes I see. Eyes cannot see. If eyes could see by itself, every one of us would have only one eye. Because we would have kept one eye in the office, to have an eye on the office. And very many of you, not in the office, but you keep it at home, to have an eye upon my people at home. Yeah. The eyes, if I remove and keep it on the table, the eyes cannot see. The eyeball is a yes. And today in the modern world, it is not very difficult for you to understand, as in good old days, because we are doing transplant. So I die, but my eyes are young, and they can take my eyes and give it to a born blind man. He starts seeing through my dead eyes. So it is not the eyes that are seeing, it is the consciousness behind the eyes. Become conscious of what the eyes are seeing. And then I say, I see, I hear, I smell, I taste. But all of them I am conscious of what I am seeing, I am conscious of what I am hearing, I am conscious of the taste, conscious of the smell. The consciousness behind enlivens. And not knowing, I become Mr. Perceiver. The seer, the hearer, the smeller, the taster, the toucher. Similarly, consciousness functioning through the mind becomes the conscious psychological me, the feeler I, feeling with the mind various emotions. Love, hatredness, jealousy, greed, passion. Endless varieties. The same consciousness functioning through the intellect expresses as the conscious thinker I, and the thinker I with my intellect thinks the world of thoughts. Thus the world of objects, the field of emotions, and the realms of thought are the fields from which I gather my experiences with the sense organs, the body, the mind, and the intellect. So BMI are the equipments of my experiences. OET represents the fields of my experiences. And I, the experiencer, the individualized conscious ego, is PFT. It is not that I am seeing with my eyes Then you become a perceiver. But the moment you understand that I am seeing through my eyes, you become independent. Is it not? Through, you're standing in your drawing room, you are seeing the moon rise. Now the question is, who is seeing the moon rise? Simple, Swamiji. The window is seeing the moon rise. Why? If there is no window, will you see the moon? Huh? So, the window is seeing the moon rise, or are you seeing the moon through the window? So, are you not you who is in you, who is using these equipments to experience the outer world? Thus, I, the consciousness, in the eyes become the seer, in the ears become the hearer, in the nose the smeller, in the tongue the taster, in the skin the toucher, in the mind the feeler, in the intellect the thinker. Alas, in an unholy combination of you have forgotten who you are and unholy combination identified with the body, mind and intellect, you say that I am the perceiver, the feeler, the thinker. And it is this PFT who wants private interview for the sorrows of his life. Think. So then, the PFT is the individualized ego, the jiva, the sufferer and enjoyer of the world. The BMI are the instruments of experiences. OET is the total field of experiences. Nobody in the world has got any equipment other than the three. Nobody, rich or poor, healthy or unhealthy, developed nation or not developed nation, or underdeveloped nation, or never developing nation. Nobody has any other field from which to gather their experiences. The world of objects, emotions and thoughts are the only world from which they can harvest their experiences, collect their experiences, all through life. From birth to death, every moment you are having experiences. The experiencer is you. Therefore, we go to another man and say that I am experiencing unhappiness, identified with the happy or unhappy emotion. I don't understand what you are talking, Swamiji, or I am smart in misunderstanding, Swamiji. That is your intellectual. I am healthy or unhealthy. I have no home. I have no wife. At the physical level. Thus the physical, the psychological and the intellectual personality in you all put together is called Mr. Ego, the hero of your autobiography. See? If you write your autobiography, who is the hero? I. Who is this I? Swamiji, I. Analyze it. This experience of. Now, having thus discovered it, when the teachers looked out through the windows, these great rishis looked out, having understood the mechanism of life, when you looked out, they found that every PFT, all through their life, in every experience, is trying to discover a total happiness, complete satisfaction, total contentment, from OET through BMI. This is your autobiography. Everyone, irrespective of whether you are a congenital idiot or a great genius, spiritual or materialistic, have or have nots, every individual, nay, not only man, unconsciously, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom also is searching and seeking for its own happiness. And what he wants is permanent happiness. Though thus the individualized ego is demanding a permanent happiness, it doesn't know where it lies. And all that is available is only the OET. And therefore each individual strive to hug as much of OET as possible in order to get a permanent happiness. But they forget that it is never permanent, because all these are conditioned by time. Nothing is permanent. Einstein discovered it in the 20th century, that time and space are the quantum in which alone the plurality can exist and function. This is the latest Western discovery. In the Vedic period, our masters have said that this is all time-bound, kala-bandhita, and time is constantly changing. And therefore everything that is conditioned and floating in time must also keep on changing. Is not your body constantly changing? Nobody need be a philosopher to know it. None of you were born from the mother's womb on this size that you are now. You have been growing. Childhood, youth, middle age, old age, it goes on. Is not your mind changing? Things you loved 5 years ago, today you hate as poison. Things you hated 3 years ago, today you feel a kind of tenderness and love. Don't people divorce 5 years ago and then remarry that same woman after 5 years? Hey, your mind changes. Your faith, your belief, your ideas, your ideology is not intellectually you are changing. I am not talking of those who are educating themselves and study. Even if you don't study, it is not the hammerings of the world outside make you change your values. So the body, the mind, the intellect are changing. The world outside, are they not changing? Are not the objects constantly changing in their arrangements? Are not emotions that you receive from others constantly changing? Don't you generally say that so-and-so and me, we were such friends? I tell you, Swamiji, it is one soul in two bodies. We were together like brothers. Today he hates me. Last 4 years we lived like brothers, and today he hates me. It is his fault that he discovered you only 4 years it took for him to discover that you don't deserve it. That we never think of it. That change. The emotions that you receive. At one place you get applause, at another place discouragement, or what do you call that? Criticism. 3 women who are working here, they felt very bad that I am against all women in my talks. See, Krishna, in discussing that the 4 types of human beings, he is a rascal. He should not have said like that. What does it matter? Hey, this is all human frailty. We have to only smile, not feel unhappy about it. or angry about it. That is how they understood. These discourses, that dog was constantly lying down and listening. What has he understood? Right? He has not even the intelligence to misunderstand. And 2, 3, those girls or ladies are trying to go away from the ashram. It's better that they go because they are wasting their time here. This is not meant for blind faith. It is a highly intellectual field for thinking. So why saying was the emotions change, the intellectual concepts change. I was a communist, now a capitalist. Because I found that there is a lot of money in drugs. Become capitalist. Is it not changing, people changing? Capitalists, are they not becoming communists and socialists? In politics, in philosophy, I had no faith at all. Now I have discovered faith. Is it not? Even some of the greatest saints in the world were atheists before, but they changed their attitude because their intellect changed. That's, my friend, all the BMI are constantly changing. OET is constantly changing. Between these two changing factors, you stupidly come to believe that a certain condition can be created in my mind that permanently peaceful, serene, nothing will happen to me. When I got some money in the bank, hey, everybody. So then the great Rishi said, I can understand the animals and the mineral world, the plant kingdom feeling that way. You man who has got capacity to think, why don't you analyze and understand that nothing is permanent in this realm of time, everything is changing, play with the change. Just as in the dance hall, you enjoy the dance. Why? It is constant movement. Dance is not standing erect. Dynamic movement. So she steps on you and you step on her. Enjoy! But nobody will fall down because each is hanging on to the other. Similarly, hang on to the world outside. Get crushed, never mind. Enjoy it. In a sport, in a game, don't you think you are panting, you are getting exhausted, and yet you say that, I enjoy it. Beautiful game. Beautiful game. You physically suffer, but mentally you enjoy. Why? It is a sport, it is a game. I wanted it. In the same way, enter the world. Live through the joys and sorrows of life, but consider it as a sport. Why? You are not expecting anything permanent here. I knew that nothing is permanent. My husband is not permanent, my wife is not permanent, my children are not permanent, my business is not permanent. Nothing is permanent. But when it is there, I play. When it is not there, I play. Just because I am losing, is there a sportsman who has never continued the sport? See? So when I lose, I say that beautiful stroke. Ah, nice. And in case I win, I say better luck next time. Today you are not in your mood. I know you will always beat me down, but better luck next time. This is called sportsmanship. So sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. Why are you worried? Unless you are lose somewhere else. Play the game till the end. Think? So, the great Rishi said, why is it that these people, man, suffering until because of his ignorance? He refuses to make use of his intellectual capacity to analyze. He is very good in analyzing the outer world. Science, he progresses, but when he turns upon himself, he feels unhappy. and incapacitated, as it were. He never turns his attention to it. Vimudha nanupashyanti. Visheshena mudha. Supreme idiots never understand this great truth. Gita says, supreme idiot means not that you are incapable of wisdom, but you refuse to think. What can you do? You are so preoccupied with the world of seeking a permanent happiness amidst impermanent things, so fully engaged that your not attention cannot be turned away. When they have thus understood it, they realized that so long as I am identified with the body, mind and intellect, I am in that realm of time, change. So if I want a changeless state of bliss and happiness, I must go beyond change. Beyond change means beyond time. Oh, I see. And go beyond BMI, you realize the timeless, the permanent, the eternal, the immutable, the blissful. Okay, Swamiji. This Sunday. Now today I have got office. This weekend I am going to meditate and go beyond the BMI and realize the Brahman. And Monday onwards I will tell you all about Brahman. This weekend I am visiting Brahman. And you enthusiastically declare to the family that, look, tomorrow Sunday, see that the children go out and play. And you also keep quiet. Don't break saucers and plates and make noises here. Not even the bathroom flush should be worked. I am going to meditate. So the poor wife thinks that this is a new trick. Yeah. And you early morning onwards, children have started asking you, Papa, when are you meditating? Not now. After breakfast. Or else know that breakfast idea will disturb me. So you take breakfast, everybody gives breakfast, and everybody has got a strange look on their eyes, looking at you that you are going to meditate. No, I don't know what is meditation, you don't know, but... And you enter. Children have been sent to the neighbor's house. There they may suffer. You are all right. And then when you are entering the room also, you told the wife. The wife also. She doesn't want to sit down because the cushions may make a noise. You go into the room, lock the room. What are you going to do? Go beyond the BMI in pure meditation. You sit down and you have heard that the great mantra is Hari Om, and you have started chanting in your mind, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Then the body said, hi, it is too hard. So immediately I said, okay, I got up. The seat is not all right, so put a cushion there, and in the cushion you sat down, and again, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Then your skin told you, I think it is too hot. And you said, yes, it is hot. So you got up, put on the fan, the ceiling fan, and you are sitting down. Hari Om, Hari Om. Suddenly the skin said, it is too fast. So you got up, slowed it down, sat down. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Then it is that the vertebral column is saying that if there is a cushion behind, it will be nice. So you get up and get a cushion and to support your back. Again you sit down, Hari Om, Hari Om. Look, you are a slave to all the demands. That is the point. So long as you are a slave, you will not be allowed to go out. Why? Because the BMI can no longer persecute you. You are trying to become master of them. They are now today masters in you. They don't want to give up their chairs. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. I think there is coffee decoction in the kitchen. And that woman is so careless that she will throw it away in the wash basin. 1 cup of hot coffee and then meditate. Ha, how nice. You get up, you open the door, and the lady is worried. Now what is coming out? It must be God Himself coming out. No, nothing. And you make directly to the kitchen. Think of the situation. So she comes behind. Seva bhav. What do you want, honey? I will give you. No, I don't want anything. But I thought that if there is decoction there, then don't throw it away. Nowadays the prices are very high. A cup of coffee, you go inside. Do you think that you can? The more you try to meditate, the more the mind will persecute. At this moment, even though I am allowed to say that this body, mind and intellect are mine, honestly speaking, I belong to them. I am an utter slave. The local constitution may give you all the freedom. It is the freedom of the slaves. None of us is free. All of us are utter silent slaves, hapless slaves, miserable slaves to our own physical, mental and intellectual persecutions. See? If once a mind has to turn, you cannot, it is not possible for us to stand apart. We are whipped by the BMI. I am a diabetic. I am not allowed to eat sweets which I love. People invite me for bhiksha. An Indian bhiksha means a feast, and in the feast in India, unless there are 3 or 4 types of sweets, it is not a feast. They invite me. Everybody is taking their own food. Buffet. And that was the Swami's special table. Everything is kept there. Because we don't know what the Swami would need, so everything is kept. As I am going nearer the table, I see 3 beautiful, enchanting sweets, homemade sweets. Ayya! My body says, Swami, PFT, there is beautiful sweets. This is the time. These people don't know. They have presented to you. Eat. This is a chance. In the body. No, I says, okay, we will do it. Let us finish the other part of the food and then the sweet in the last, so that this will linger in your mind. Only Gujaratis can take sweets in between to remind them that there is sweet in the world. We want to take it last so that it can linger it in you. And you start taking this. And everybody is trying to put something in your plate, and therefore your attention must be there, or else you will be drowned in food. So then you are there at that. And after finishing at last item, when you come, you look at that beautiful sacred place on your left where the sweets were, all of them have disappeared. Why? Even though the host doesn't know that I should not take sweets, the useless ones that come with me, they are called the devotees. They to save the Swami, they take it away. Supposing they are there, and the body says, come on now at least. I lift it. My mind says, don't. And the intellect repeats to me, which all the doctors, specialists all over the world has again and again repeated to me, that this is the most beautiful disease that a man can get, because there will be no pain at all, but slowly it destroys all your organs one by one, and thereafter a time would come when liver is not working, and if liver is not working, then the kidney fails, then the pancreas is long over gone, and then slowly kidney fails, therefore liquid water in you is not going, and therefore it will flood in your own lungs, and until at last you will die in your own juice. No pain, but you just die. All these they have told me. All these the intellect has understood and remembered. And so the intellect says, don't do that. The mind says, please. And the body says, come on. Think. Now, if I satisfy the body demand and eat it, let us say, I ate half of it. That day I have to live that day, isn't it? Now I can't run away from my mind and intellect. They are constantly with me. During the day, let us say that I was so busy that I have no time to listen to my mind. Okay, but I had to go to bed. The moment my head hits the pillow, the mind says, why did you do it? And the intellect repeats all that what the doctors have said, that your liver is crumbling, your kidney is stopping, your eyesight is going, your ears you will never be able to hear, you will be a vegetable. All that because you ate it. Now the sugar has gone up in your blood, and the blood. Both of them kick me, and I can't run. If anybody else is criticizing, you can do something. This is no remedy, because it is your own mind and intellect telling you. These two start persecuting. Supposing I did not eat, mind congratulates me, intellect is so happy, but my body, aren't you ashamed, Swami? Are you not a Swami? What is wrong if you eat? You will die. Stupid! What an avidya you have got, ignorance you have got. Don't you know that since you are born you have to die? Why don't you die sweetly? What is wrong? You should have it, should have. So, if I don't eat, body criticizes. If I eat, mind and intellect together as a combination. Anyway, I get the whip. See? What can I do? This, I am giving one example. In all examples. That girl, that drink, that party, anything, that house, that property. The body wants it, the mind wants it, or the intellect wants it, and then the other two says no. The mind wants it. Ayyo, that beautiful house. The intellect says, no, it's very costly. No. And the physical body says, the present house is quite all right. No. The mind, no. You are always like that. You will never do anything that I want. You are unsympathetic, you have no imagination. If I got that house, this house, what are you going to get even if you sell it? But that house, after 3 years, it becomes so... That is a beautiful place and beautiful house, and therefore prices will go up, and then you can put the whole money, $1 million in the bank, all because my advice you follow. Let us purchase that. Is it not? Thus, be persecuted by the BMI and the tantalizing, engaging, beautiful, enchanting objects of the outer world. The poor fellow the individual has no peace of mind, buffeted by these two. The poor individual goes up and down, searching for a permanent happiness. When thus the great acharyas found that, they gave the prescription, go beyond the BMI and reach the goal, the destination, the acme of evolution. The God state is all blissful, all perfect. Then he found that the people are not able to. Naturally, therefore, then the trouble started, the inquiry started. What gives the BMI such a might and power that they can persecute me? They belong to me, but I have no control over them at this moment. When a vehicle, these are my vehicles, for me to express in the world outside. When a vehicle is not under your control, it is better not to ride, isn't it? A motorcycle or a car, if it for a single split moment go out of your control, it's called skidding. You know the tragedy? You will wake up in the nearest hospital, along with half a dozen others. They cursing you, because they all fell into the accident because you skidded. Is it not? Skidding is a place when the vehicle is not under your control. The vehicle by itself had decided to go to the left and then change the mind to the right. This is called skidding. One skid, half a dozen other buses, other cars also involved. You break a few bones in this world at this moment. Is it not that every one of them, every moment, skidding? None of us have any control over the equipments. So I skid on you, you skid on him, and he skid on me, and all of us skid on to another. And then you say that in samsara, in the world of plurality, there is no peace. So you organize a UNO to bring peace, world peace. The more they struggle to bring world peace, world becomes pieces. Why? It remains in yourself. Your self-discipline, your ability to control your own equipment. Therefore, when they found that it's so powerful, they started inquiring, where are they getting their power to persecute me? As a result of that investigation, they discovered this factor which is represented by the letter V, and it is called vasanas. V-A-S-A-N-A. There is no corresponding English word for it, because in the modern psychology, they have not gone into these depths. They are only in the surface only. The conscious mind, the unconscious, subconscious mind, and recently they have accepted the unconscious mind. All these three are springing forth from the very bottom, the depth, psychological level, and that is what you call as vasana. Vasanas are inclinations that are left on you due to your past thoughts and actions. They are the habits left over, channels of thinking into which all your thoughts at any given moment is ready to flood out. That direction, that which gives the direction and purpose of all your thinking personality. The vasanas determine the contours of your physical, intellectual, and emotional personality. These are the tendencies gathered by each one of us as we came along the avenue of time in our march of evolution. Instead of thinking in terms of evolution, which is rather difficult for a student suddenly to remember or think of this life only. You and I are at this moment the product of our past. In the past, during this life, whatever we have thought of and acted, we are today channelized to repeat it. It's called habit. The smoker cannot live without smoking. The drunkard cannot live without drinking. The coffee lover cannot live without coffee. Why? These are all habits that have been formed. At that right time, all your thoughts run in that direction. You cannot but search and discover and satisfy things. These are called tendencies. Tendencies describe or determine our present personality and field of function. These are unmanifest. Manifest is that which can be perceived by the body, felt by the mind, thought of by the intellect. These are all manifest. But this is unmanifest. Just as unmanifest flowers in that flowering bush in winter or in deep summer, the flowers are not there. But when the springtime comes, all the unmanifested flowers bloom forth. Similarly, these are the silent tendencies in each one of us, which manifest through us, and that is called our personality, our history, our life. Now, when the unmanifest flower in the flowering pot or flowering plant, when they manifest, the flower doesn't come out all of a sudden. And the flower opens. It's only in television flower opens like that. In actual life, you can't see the flower opening. So slow, so slow. The flower emerges from the unmanifested to a manifested bloom in various stages of expression. First it becomes a bud, and then the bud slowly opens on the top, and then slowly in another 2-3 days' time it opens up. In the same way, the unmanifest in each one of you manifests into the world outside in different states. The tendency in you first expresses at the intellectual level as a desire. All of you have got desires. Don't you say that, no, Swamiji, I have no desires. If you have no desires, lie down there. We will attend to your funeral as soon as this talk is over. Only in the funeral ground or the burial ground you can say that there is no desire in the dead body. So long as you have a manifestation, there will be desires. Why? You are manifested because of the vasanas. The vasanas are to express. The desires will be in all of us. If 3 or 4 friends have come to your house and you are a very loving and hospitable host, came and sat down in the drawing room and the talk started. At that time, my wife comes into the room. That is a fashion nowadays. What will you have, all of you? What will you have? Because this is the 5-star hotel culture. In a 5-star hotel, the bearer has to come and say, yes sir, what will you have? Isn't it? And our homes also have become 5-star hotel. What will you have? So then the 5 of you shamelessly would say, can I have some fruit juice? Yes. Can I have coffee? You don't hold coffee, I don't like it. Can you have tea? Yes. Coke. Everyone wants different things. The Hindu woman is so smart. She, a $10 million smile and she just goes and decides. You start your discussion. International politics, which you know nothing. Economics and finance, you know still less. You go on discussing, making noise, that is all. At that time, she comes with a tray. Another $5 million smile and shivering, and go to each individual, and each individual is given $1 million. And the fellow looks at it and takes a glass. Everybody takes. What? No house has got all these. Fruit juice, and then a tea, then coffee, and then somebody else wants a Coke. Somebody, there's nothing. There is Coke and orange, let us say. So then the orange juice, 4 or 5 glasses, 2 3 glasses of Coke. And you are not allowed to look at the glass because it's smiling so beautifully. Everybody takes it, because by that time they have forgotten what their desire was. They take it. Before they finish, she comes with the tray. And everybody, not at over. Because these are the glasses that is to be filled again to give to the next set of guests expected. Think, desires are many. That is why the endless varieties that you find in the bazaars, in the supermarkets and all, is not one item. So many items of so many different types. Why? Each individual desire is different to cater to all of them. Why is it that desires are so vast? Because the tendencies are different. when a desire rises in the intellect, the subtlest of your personality, it slowly comes to a little grosser state in the mind, and the desire of the intellect, when it expresses at the mental level, it expresses as mental agitations, vikshep, isn't it? Everybody says, Saji, no peace, my mind is always in agitation. Everybody's mind is. Instead of complaining that my mind is agitated, why don't you keep quiet and watch? What is the agitation about? You will find at any given moment your agitation is only expression of the most powerful desire that you are entertaining. You want to purchase a car, your agitation will be only car. Which car, what car, where car, why car, how car, car agitation. If your desire is for coffee, coffee. Your mind is not available for anything else. You may try to read something, you can't read. Coffee. You start hearing the smell of coffee, hear the sound of cup and saucers. See not the book that you are reading, but the coffee with fumes going up, the fragrance in the nose. And at last, you have to get up from there, get a coffee wherever it is available, by fair means or foul means. And once the coffee has come, the mind is available for any work. Very often, you get a cup of coffee, keep it there and start your work. And you are so immersed in the work, because the mind is available, you forget that there is a coffee. Haven't you seen that after 1 hour or 1.5 hours, you see the dead coffee sitting there? And have you not drunk that dead coffee? Because after all, I paid for it. That your stomach becomes the garbage can. Pour it there. Cigarette. As you are working in the typewriter, you feel cigarette. You keep it in the ashtray and go on typing. And your typing becomes continuous until at last the whole cigarette has become one piece of ash. Have you done it? It's not that the system wants coffee. It's not that the body wants cigarette. But that desire created the agitation. The agitation is satisfied because I lighted a cigarette. Then the mind is available for my work. And when I once enter into the work, the joy of work, I forget it. Until the next time the desire comes, cigarette. Oh yes, where is my cigarette? Oh, the whole thing is burnt up. You light another one and keep it there. Same tragedy happens very often. That is to say, the vasana expresses at the intellectual level as desire. The desire in the intellect, when it expresses the mental level, it becomes agitations. Agitations of the mind, when fully manifest outside at the body level, are called your actions. See? Now the vasana for breakfast, the desire has already started. After another 20 minutes or 10 minutes, you start feeling that, what is it, the Swami is not leaving at all. And you don't listen to me at all. Breakfast. And when I leave you, where will you go? Directly. Every action is like that, every action. You go towards it, and that is the full expression of the vasana. So if the vasanas are good, your actions must be good. Why? your desires will be noble, your thoughts gracious, naturally your actions saintly. Why? Your tendencies are good. If the tendencies are bad, vulgar desires, criminal thoughts, murderous activities. So when you judge another man and say that he is a sinner, he is a dirty fellow, please, you don't know the mechanism. Have sympathy with him. He is a product of his past. That is why Jesus so lovingly says, hate not the sinner, hate the sin. The sinner, like a patient, is helpless, but hate the disease, hate that the sin, the wrong tendency in him, but he cannot but express it. Think. It is a fact. Not only in the quality of your desire, vasanas determine the quality of your personality, but also the quantity of vasanas that you have brought with you. You are born with the vasanas, into vasanas. We discussed it in the Gita, 17th chapter, 18th chapter. The quantity may be more. So if there are more vasanas, each vasana has to come to a desire, and therefore a platoon of desires, one after another, erupting. And each desire must have agitations. So your mind is in a storm at all times. Can't even sleep without some yellow and blue pills. Why? To sleep. I can't sleep. Why can't you sleep? My mind is very dynamic. Meaning what? Too much of agitations. Why? So much of desires. And such an individual, each of those agitations to satisfy you to undertake some project or the other. It is such people who work 18 hours a day, 7 days of the week, running around the world, doing work and work and work. And people admire him, that this fellow came with $5 into this country, and today he has got 20 million, and he's got business here, there, and he is now going to open up in Indonesia. And by 35 or 40, we hear that he is dead. Why? His body could not stand that strain. Thrombosis, died. And everybody appreciates, what a dynamic man he was. So creative. He made so much, and nobody to look after it. Everything has gone collapse. He himself buried. Think. Why is he that he is working like that? You can't stop him because of his vasanas. Thus vasanas express as desires become agitations become activity. These actions are prompted by desires, whipped up by the agitations. When the vasanas are less desires, therefore less agitations, therefore less desire prompted activities. Activities need not be less, because your hands and legs have got the same length. It's not that the hands have gone into the stomach. Why? Because no desires, therefore hands got... No! So you can work, but less selfish activities. minimum vasanas, minimum desires, minimum agitations, minimum selfish work. The rest is all unselfish work. Supposing you have no vasanas, no desires, therefore no agitation, therefore not a single selfish act. Is not such an individual whom we adore, worship, revere as a saint, a sage, a prophet? Did Christ function to gain anything? Did Buddha work in order to build a palace for himself? They want nothing, expect nothing, demand nothing, because they have no desire. And yet they are functioning in the world outside, expressing their infinite love for the world. See? We adore and respect and revere him as a God-man upon earth. This is not because all the average man knows all the philosophy. Instinctively he sees a divine aura about. When the 400 million people in India calls him Mahatma Gandhi, it's not that he declared it and tried to publicize that he is divine. People started calling him. Why? They started seeing something divine about him, something adorable in him. Thing. And it is true. Because when there are no vasanas, there are no desires, no agitations. Agitation, desires are always regarding the world of voidity. When there are no desires and no agitations, the mind and intellect activity has ended. There where the mind's activity is ended, I, who thought myself to be the perceiver, feeler, thinker, comes to awake, released from the entanglements of the mind and intellect, comes to awake to realize the timeless, the permanent, the eternal, the immutable. In order thus I may go there beyond, into my spiritual nature, my true nature, that which stands between me and the perfection is my own vasanas. If vasanas are more, more extrovert. Vasanas are less, less extrovert. No vasanas, no more extroverted. You awake from this plane of consciousness of PFT into a new dimension of consciousness. Therefore, the inquiry was, what exactly or how exactly can we wipe out the ego, what is that? Vasanas. How soon and how effectively can we eliminate the vasanas? So till now what I talked is the pure science, only giving you the theories of these great masters. But is it practical? How can I make it practical, useful to mankind? It means the technology. The pure science in subjective science is called philosophy. The applied science is called religion all over the world, yoga in India. What is the yoga or the religion? What are the techniques by which I can eliminate the unnecessary vasana pressure in me and bring my mind to quietude and contemplation? and evaporate it or disseminate and release myself from the entanglements of mind and intellect and awake to the higher state of consciousness. That we will take after your extrovertedness quietly. Breakfast. That there must be a life or some mysterious presence, divine and transcendental, call it whatever you like. I am not merely a bundle of flesh and bones and blood. But there must be something in it that lights it up. This we have understood. How does that function through me? I understood the mechanism of life. Now the point is, how am I to realize? Come in contact with it. The structure of the bulb has been learned. And I know that bulb by itself has no light, and therefore there is something other than the bulb, behind the bulb, that expresses through the bulb when the light comes out. And now I want to know what is that electricity. What do? I have to remove the bulb and then contact that which lies behind the mind. Search for what is that with my finger, and then we can't explain what it is. Then you shall get it. In the same way, intellectually I've understood these are equipments, yes, and they function, yes. They themselves cannot function because they are matter, true. There must be something other than it is expressing through it, yes. Now what is that? Without removing these, I will not be able to understand that which lies behind it. Now how am I to remove them? I find that they are also powerful only because of the vasanas, and therefore vasana must be reduced. Less the vasana, less the desire, less the agitation, therefore very little extrovertedness, and therefore the mind is relatively quiet. Quiet mind has great contemplation, and when you are steady in contemplation, it happens. When the bulb is removed and the finger is inserted, it shall happen. What shall happen? You shall have direct experience. Of what? Of that which lies behind the... You get the... So then, the saboteur in my bosom, because of which I am not able to recognize my own dear real self, but I misunderstand myself to be the PFT, the limited entity, and all my sufferings and imperfections and agitations and sorrows are all due to this limitation upon me. How am I to then reduce the vasanas? It is here that what modern scientists calls a breakthrough we had in the subjective science. Just as in the objective science, very often we hear that we had a breakthrough in that problem, or we are expecting a breakthrough soon in this problem. The breakthrough is the word often used by the modern scientists. This is a phenomena that was not only in the present times, but also in the good old ancient times. The rishis indicated this phenomena as a revelation. I did not know it, but it was revealed to me because I was anxious to know it. Modern scientists, in their arrogant ego and self and vanity, intellectual vanity, will not accept a revelation. But the phenomena is going on. There is a problem in science, and they have all tried their level best. All the data has been in front of them, and yet they are not able to explain how, why that particular phenomena, let us say. There is a question in the mind. Why? How? How? And the scientist's intellect or mind has nothing to talk, because all possibilities they have examined and found that they are all false. So the mind and intellect is relatively silent. But the question is still at that time, generally on the seat early morning, in the toilet, because that is a place where you just, in that mood, I mean, I'm not joking. Or maybe in his office, in the laboratory, he's playing with that file. All possibilities that has suggested itself into his mind, 4 or 5 possibilities, all have been proved to the hilt that they are all wrong. Investigations, they all reach only walled in blind alleys. Yet the question is in the mind, how? And it is such quiet moments when the mind is utterly quiet or alert, and the question is maintained. It is at that time that they get what the modern world call as breakthrough, or earlier the master said a revelation. Both the word revelation and breakthrough indicates that it is not your effort. You never knew it. It descended into you, and the modern man would say, it struck me. Struck me like a stone. Now a stone cannot strike you from your belly. It must be from outside. Meaning, I am not responsible. It struck me. But at the same time, the modern man doesn't want to accept that there is a greater intelligence than his, which can reveal to you the answers to your problems. They want to accept. So then they call it as breakthrough. According to your temperament, you may accept it as the rishis had a breakthrough in the subjective science, or you can say, if you have got belief and faith in the greater intelligence, that they had a revelation that when one individual functions in the world outside without orienting themselves with ego and selfish desires, the existing vasanas get exhausted, no new vasanas are created. This is a theory that has been declared in Vedanta. But Vedanta has not paused there to explain why and how. Just as in breakthrough, they can only give you the solution for the problem, but how did you arrive at it? It's not given, because they did not arrive at it. It arrived to them. They did not arrive at it. So they don't know the ways. It's a breakthrough. So they said, without ego and egocentric desires, if you can act in the world outside, the existing vasanas will get exhausted, it purifies you. Now the question is, can we act without ego and egocentric desires? Is it not in all action I must have the consciousness that I want something. Without these two, how can I act? When these two are not there, I am in deep sleep or under total chloroform. No action can spring forth from me. Then how am I to lift myself from the ego and selfish desires and act in the world outside? Any intelligent man round the world at any period of time would say this is impossible. This is not a practical philosophy. It is an utopian dream. It is a solution or a treatment which is more painful than the disease. If the treatment is more painful than disease, it is better to have the disease than the treatment. It is not so. The Rishi said, all of you are right. When you deny this as a path, you are right. Our sympathies are with you. Why? In 99 cases, it is true that nobody can act in the world outside without ego and egocentric desires. Except one exception. In that condition alone, man voluntarily acts without ego and egocentric desire. At the altar of love, you and I act without ego and egocentric desires. I love my mother and I am serving her. She is sick. I am serving her. Not that I may get some money from her or that she has not written the will and therefore I am serving her. No. That very serving her is itself a great joy and fulfillment for me. Not to serve her would have given me agonizing pain, a sense of guilt. So I am working for the sheer joy of doing. The father who loves the child, he may go about with a torn shirt, can't afford another shirt, and yet he will be sending money for his college education. Why? Love. Thus, loving the Lord and acting in the world outside is the method by which the existing vasanas can exhaust. That is why in all scriptures, service of mankind or the community, the society, as a dedication unto Him or as a worship of Him, dedicating to the Lord, act on in the world outside. In Gita it is said that thus worshipping me with your karmas, work in the world outside, is the noblest of all worship. Such an individual who does it, he is serving me the best. Now, even though all of us have got BMI, everyone, no exception, yet we are different from each other because some of us are body oriented, some of us are emotion or mind oriented, and some few of us are highly intellectual type, rationally oriented. Mankind falls under these three types. And the fourth type I am not explaining. The fourth type is neither physical, nor mental, nor intellectual. They are personalities below par. We are taking normal, healthy human beings. They fall under these three categories. They are bodily, physically oriented, emotionally oriented, intellectually oriented. Naturally, therefore, these three types of people cannot be prescribed with one and the same method, technique. Just as one child of yours is interested in engineering, another in medicine, a third in music, you can't say that, no, all of you learn music. All of them learn engineering. It will never happen. So this wonderful idea, this or the Western religion, semestic religions, it's not true. One way, one God, one scripture. It is wonderful to hear. Good socially, to militant, to make it militant. But from the spiritual standpoint, it is detrimental and suicidal. Each individual must be given his freedom to bloom by himself. It's only because all of us are not of the same similarly oriented personalities. To those who are physically oriented, who can never sit quietly, it's a surprising thing that you are all sitting quietly. Man finds it the most difficult to sit quietly. And your notebooks, if you look, you will find that you have never been sitting quietly. What all cartoons you have done on the margin. Hey, you are not an artist. It doesn't mean that you never attended. You attended, but your hand was going on cartooning. Even international conferences, they always supply you with paper and pencil. Not to take down notes, but to see what Kennedy was drawing at the time when the meeting was going on, the cabinet meeting was going on, deciding upon the fighting with start the war with pig. What pig? Bay of Pig. You see, that picture is there in the New York. Go there and see in his exhibition. There is exhibited the backside of a young girl. He was drawing at that time. Not that his mind was there. His mind was in the problem that they are discussing. But his natural vasanas are coming out. You understand? It's natural. And if you don't give the paper and pencil, people would sit there and scratch and spoil the table and the polish. To repolish it is very costly. So to say that every board meeting, they will supply free paper and pencil. So that hands cannot keep quiet. School desks, have you seen? Bathroom walls, have you seen? Hey, it's natural. There's nothing immoral about it. So majority of us are body oriented. To them, since they cannot keep quiet, action, the path of work is being prescribed. Do your duties according to the quality, whether Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, the prescribed duties, do it without ego and egocentric desires, and worship me with fulfilling your duties. That would be your path. By thus rising above the ego and selfish desires in devotion unto Him when you are acting in the world outside, the existing vasanas get fixed. Or if you are emotional, with a devotion, move towards Him in love. And since you are in love, all your actions are dedicated to Him, just as you love your family, and therefore all your efforts in your offices or in your marketplace is all meant for me and my family. Isn't it? It becomes natural. The intellectual man, rational man will never do karma yoga, will never be able to really get involved in devotion, because he has got a million questions to ask. He is not emotional. So if you say that pray to God, why should I? Who is God? Is He not all-pervading? If He is all-pervading, is He not in my house? If He is in my house, is He not in my bedroom? If it is in the bedroom, He is all-pervading, therefore He must be under the blanket also. Then why should I get up from the blanket and go to a church or a mosque or a temple? Is there more concentration of God there? 100 questions he asks, and you and I don't know how to answer, and therefore we say, you are an atheist. It is not. He is the greatest theist. He believes in Him, but he is seeking, not in your method, because his instrument is intellectual. He is rationally questioning you. For what? To understand. Very often we misunderstand such people and we condemn them as atheists. They are not. They are seeking Him by contradicting you, so that some logical reasoning may come from you, so that they can satisfy their intellect's quest. That is the path of contemplation, study of the scriptures and contemplation of the higher. By this, that's karma, bhakti, jnana, the path of service, the path of devotion, the path of intellectual contemplation. By these three paths, not that the three paths will take you there. No, the three paths will reduce the vasana, and therefore the vasana pressure upon Amanda is reduced. Amanda's wanderings into the world of OET is curtailed. The mind and intellect, the thoughts in it becomes quiet, alert, vigilant. Quiet, alert, vigilant, the thoughts have a tendency to enter into contemplative mood. The lesser the vasanas, the greater the contemplative mood. And by that process you awake into the higher state. All these three paths have been discussed exhaustively in the Bhagavad Gita. The second chapter and the third chapter, fourth and the fifth chapters expounded the path of karma. The sixth, seventh, and eighth, and the ninth expounded the path of intellection. Chapter 12 onwards, the path of 12 devotion. 13 onwards up to the 18th, the path of contemplation or meditation. The Jnana Yoga. All of them have been indicated. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita is being declared in the colophon in the end of every chapter. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu. Thus, in the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishadsu, it's a science of reality. Yoga Shastra, it is not only science of reality, the theoretical part, but also it is the technology of yoga, of how to reach therein. Such and such an title, and this discourse or the third discourse or the fourth discourse is now concluded. This is going to call for the conclusion. In every end of the discourse, there is this colophon. Everywhere it is repeatedly said that in this Gita, which is at once a Yoga Shastra as well as an Upanishad, Brahma Vidya, the science of reality, and the yoga, the technology of how to reach it, this discourse has been given us. It is making use of this chart of BMI, PFT, OHE. Once you have grasped this, you have got an entrance ticket into the halls of wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita temple of understanding. If you have not got a ticket, you are great crashing into it. At one point or the other, you will be caught and chucked out. You will jump out of the Bhagavad Gita because of the confusion that created in your mind. Once this chart is in your mind, everything, every line that has been said in the Bhagavad Gita can be pinned on to this knowledge and everything becomes clear. Krishna very faithfully follows this chart. Now I can't say chart, these ideas.